Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you a workflow that I built with n8n to automatically scrape sitemaps from any website I want to. And all the data gets eventually saved into a spreadsheet like this. And the interesting part about this workflow is here, first of all, that it works with any sitemap. And of course, also with multiple domains without triggering it one by one. So I can simply add here a domain, the sitemap, also the site URL in case I want to use it for another workflow. And after that, it keeps track of all the URLs that are within the sitemaps. But instead of just getting the data and inserting it here over and over again, it does it also based on a run history. So whenever I execute the workflow, I have the run ID, but also the date, which is really important because with this date, we can check within the workflow if a page has been added or if something has been changed. And then instead of putting all the data again into the sheet, we do it instead incrementally. And before we will have a look into all the specific nodes here so that you also understand what happens behind the scenes, let me give you an example on how you can use such a simple workflow, because the only thing that happens in the sitemap scraper is that it checks the sitemap. If there's a sitemap index, then it will also crawl sub-sitemaps. As an example, for my website, I have two different sitemaps, one for the pages and one for my product. So the workflow takes also care of getting the data from this page here, and then it goes into these sitemaps here and pulls the data from there. But once you have the data like we have it here, so the domain and also the URL, you can do quite a lot of things with it. And as an example, you can use this data for technical audit. So you can just simply take the URL, send it, for instance, to data for SEO to get broken links, maybe some on-page metrics. But of course, you can also use the URLs for indexing. So use the official API from Google, or pull analytics data from the Google Search Console or Google Analytics 4. And I just saw that I have a typo here. And of course, one of my favorite things is to use a URL, get some performance data directly from the Google Search Console API, and then use this data for content analysis, optimization, and then you can also do more advanced things like internal linking, because once you have all the pages, you can also scrape them, create kind of a database from all your pages, and then start to optimize them in terms for the focus keywords, secondary keywords, titles, meta description, internal linking, and so forth. So you can really do a lot. And just to give you an example how this could look like, here's another workflow. So it's kind of the AI content optimization system, which is also available within my community, which is here. So it's a workflow, or in other words, a system that consists out of multiple workflows that take care of analyzing every single page that I know what is the status in terms of performance from the Google Search Console. Then there's another workflow that takes care of scraping the content so that I have the title, meta description, and of course, a content analysis, which is done by an AI agent so that I know what might be the potential focus keyword, secondary keyword, target country, host language, and so forth. And especially these two columns here are really important, because once I have this data, I can trigger another workflow that takes these two values as parameters, for instance, to get data from SERP results, which are specifically for the target country, but also in the correct language. And as I said, also for the technical part, so an on-page score, page speed metrics, count of internal, external links, if some of your images are missing alternative text, or if there's a broken link. So as you can see, once you have the URL, then you're quite flexible. And another example before we have a look into the workflow is this one. So here I'm using the same workflow, which is here. So to just get the URLs, but instead of analyzing the content, I use it to check the index status for my pages so that I don't have to do it manually. And this workflow takes also care of sending a report, and if something is not indexed, then it will submit it for me automatically. And the complete custom logic for these workflows is built on top of a simple workflow like the sitemap scraper. And before we execute the workflow, it's important to delete the data first, because I executed the workflow a few minutes ago. And if I execute it now again with this date here, then most likely nothing will be inserted, because the workflow will filter out every single page where the value for the last time update is older than the actual value that has been pulled from the sitemap. So I need to remove that as well without the header, so only the single row. And now we can go back to the workflow and execute it manually. But of course, there's also a schedule trigger. So in case you want to execute this workflow on a daily basis, weekly basis, or whatever might be useful also for the sub workflows that will be used within the sitemap scraper. And what now happens in the background is that, first of all, the workflow gets the domains, which are within the configuration sheet. So these 4 rows here, and then it takes this data and passes it to the merge node. And in case there was a previous run, then we would have also data for the run history. We have it now because I executed it, but before we deleted it. And in case there's no data available, then we won't pull any data here since the output will be empty. But it's not an issue because in the sub workflow, we also take care of checking if there is a date, and if there's no date, then it's considered as a first run, and then it will pull all the data. So as you can see, we have in total here also the 4 rows. And then we will execute the add URL sub workflow for every single sitemap. And if we have a look into the execution of the sub workflow, then we can also see that, for instance, here everything starts with the data that has been passed from the loop here. And the first step is to do a simple HTTP request to get the sitemap content, which is usually in XML, which is also the reason why in the next node we are parsing the XML to get a JSON, because once we have the data in a JSON, it's easier to analyze the content and check also what kind of sitemap is it. Because if we have a look into the sitemap from HubSpot, then we can see it's a single sitemap where we have all the URLs. But if we compare it with another sitemap, for instance, with the sitemap from my own website, then we can see there's also a sitemap index, but we have 2 sub-sitemaps where, first of all, the pages are allocated, but also custom post types, like in this case for my products. But let's say you have a custom post type for reviews, specific landing pages, and so forth, then these will be also taken. And that is also the reason why, in this case, for the sitemap from HubSpot, this workflow use this branch here, because we can directly get all the pages from the sitemaps that was fetched in this HTTP node here. But if we compare it with another sitemap, so we can go back to the executions, and let's take as an example this one, or to make it more clear, let's search for the execution of my own website, which is most likely this one here. Yes, that the other branch was executed, so here's a true branch. And since n8n takes care of executing a node as many times as it receives items, so as an example, I have 2 sitemaps, page and products, and these are 2 items in this array here, which also means we will fetch the data for both sub-sitemaps without the need of an additional loop. And after that, the logic is quite similar. So we also pass the XML content, extract the URLs, and we also do here the filtering. So we have here the nodes that take care of filtering the posts based on the last time updated. The same happens here. And in case there's a new URL or something has been changed, then we will save the data in the Google spreadsheet. And if we compare it with another run, where we have now also data for the run history, then we can simply execute it again. And then we can also see that we will have data for the run history, and then the data gets also passed to the sub workflow here. And if we have a look into the loop, then we can see last time updated. And if we now check one of the executions here, and as you can also see, it was quite fast, then we can see that, for instance, for the sitemap from HubSpot, nothing has been changed. But if we check also the other execution, then we can see that apparently something has been updated. So 4 new items, or in other words, it's possible that these are 4 new pages, or that 4 pages were modified, and then the last time updated is newer than the date that has been inserted here. And that's it actually for today. So I do think this workflow is definitely a great example that you can also achieve a lot with kind of something really simple, because the only thing that this workflow does is scraping data from a sitemap, where then the data is the basis for upcoming workflows. And since a lot of operations happens on a specific URL, you can do a lot of things from optimization, analysis, technical audit, indexing, and so forth. And in case you're interested in other workflows, primarily for search engine optimization, then feel free to check out my community. As you can see, I have quite a lot of workflows from reporting, content analysis, content optimization, rank tracking, but also fundamental workflows, for instance, for Google indexing. And that's it for the video. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to add them to the comments, and then see you in the next video.